Americans will always look at a fresh wave of immigrants to do the work that we can't or won't do. We have many immigrants all around the world. They bring a major impact to the U.S. In the United States, there is a large variation of illegal and legal immigrants. There is a percentage of about 31.9 million legal immigrants in the U.S. The top three percentages in the United States are 15.6% are Mexican, 6.3% are Indian, and 7.3% are Chinese. There is an estimate of about 11.5 million illegal immigrants in the U.S., and there might be more that we don't know about. Mexico, India, and China are the top three countries that immigrate to the U.S. Under the 1986 Immigration Reform Control Act, approximately 2.7 million illegal immigrants were legalized.
In the 1870s, the Chinese Exclusion Act was passed. Ironically enough, some of those politicians were Irish immigrants who decades before were also discriminated. Politicians blamed the Chinese for depressed wage levels. They stopped immigration from some countries because the countries that they were coming from were based on communism. Communism wasn't the only reason they stopped immigrants from coming into the U.S. During World War II, Japanese and their American-born children were put into internment camps because they feared they were spies, also worried about them being a national security threat. History repeated itself when Trump banned travel from 7 Muslim countries. For many years, immigrants have been discriminated. It's a common myth that when immigrants come to the U.S., they steal our jobs and hurt our economy. Actually, immigrants are the ones that do the jobs that nobody else wants to do. Example, Alabama deported undocumented immigrants and then asked for them back. The reason being that nobody was filling in the jobs, and when they did, they weren't doing them as well as the immigrants did. Immigrants also have a positive impact on our economy. Data collected by the state says that illegal immigrants contribute about $11.6 billion to the economy annually. In economic terms, they're considered productive citizens. Furthermore, immigrants are not a negative impact, but rather a positive impact on America. Here are 2 current examples of how immigrants come to the United States for a better life.
Give us some basic information.
My name is Edwin Nicolas. I go to New Open World Academy. I live in Koreatown, Los Angeles.
Immigrate to the U.S.
I immigrated to the United States when I was 3 months old.
Why did your family decide to immigrate?
My family decided to immigrate to the United States to live a better future, and because I had a family residing here already, and my mom thought it was the best for me and for her as well.
What challenges did you face as an immigrant being here?
Challenges would be such as finding jobs, because every job requires a social security. Not being allowed to go to certain places like San Diego or anywhere that's along the borderline. Not committing any felonies, because that may result into deportation. And such as applying to colleges or scholarships. Some scholarships require your social security number, and for colleges I don't get Pell Grant, which is federal money, so it's harder for me to attend my dream college.
What motivated you to do good in school?
My motivation to do good in school would just be, my family.
In 10 years, what do you want to bring back to your community?
So in 10 years, hopefully when I have my career, I want to provide students with the same background as me. I want to provide them with a scholarship so they can pursue their dream.
What advice would you give other immigrants who are going through what you went through?
Some advice I'd give to immigrants would be that you could achieve anything a citizen can do, and yeah, you may have some obstacles, but obstacles are meant to be overcome.
Immigrants. As an immigrant, what do you feel are immigrants' impact in America?
I believe immigrants are a huge part of the labor force. They work at much lower wages, and they work in horrible working conditions, some that U.S. citizens wouldn't do. I also believe that they're a huge part of the economy, and without immigrants, the U.S. economy.
My name is Jose Aceves, and I'm a senior at the New Open World Academy in the Los Angeles Unified School District, and I live in Koreatown.
At what age did your parents immigrate to the United States?
Both of my parents parents immigrated from Mexico to the United States when they were in their 20s.
What challenges did your parents face coming here?
They first immigrated to the United States. It was very difficult for them to get a well-paying job. I remember they had to take job as a dishwasher and as a nanny, and it was very difficult for them to raise enough money to get a good home. I remember they lived in small apartments, cramped apartments, so it was very difficult for them to have a comfortable life here.
What motivated you to do good in school?
Both of my parents wished for me and my brothers to have a better life, a life that they didn't have. So they always pushed us to always excel in school, and I always took that to heart, and I always thought about my parents to push me harder and to always be more competitive in school.
In 10 years, what do you plan to bring back to the community?
In 10 years, I hope to have completed my PhD in bioengineering and then do research in biotechnology. Apart from that, maybe start a foundation for students in low-income neighborhoods to supplement their classrooms and maybe provide them programs and resources to excel in STEM fields.
What advice would you give to people who are going through what you went through?
It's very difficult, the situations that we're sometimes put in, and it's easy to give up, but we have to remember that we have a purpose, and there will always be people out there that can support us and that will help us, and we just need to find some support, some structure that can remind us of what we're here for.